us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. As always, guys, if you're not watching this on battleviewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
After you follow us, answer our question of the day.
Do it.
Who are your top 2 guaranteed fantasy picks?
That's right. As I said before, because of the promise I made to Meadowhawk, anytime WK7 is playing, I pick up Meadowhawk. And when Refuse is playing, I pick up E63M6, and he did not fail me in that last match.
For me, it's typically KT from Refuse
Mm-hmm.
and to Killzor from High Voltage, but as I said before, Heavy 20 might be taking his place, but I picked both tonight, so it's still true.
There we go. Both of them are all true. Ladies and gentlemen, now, our next matchup is #RU versus Noble. And for Noble, for the face-off, we've got Comps. Welcome him to the face-off. Hey, Comps, welcome back.
Hey.
Good to have you back, sir. Good to have you. I'm going to start with a question for you guys. We're getting closer for the end of the season, just one more week. What do you guys feel are your chances in making the playoffs at this point?
Well, they look pretty good. Did math last night, and if we don't fail miserably, then we should be in.
All right, well, best of luck. Hope you guys don't fail miserably. It'd be awesome to see you guys at the playoffs for sure. Math is always good, too. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
So, on that note, what are you doing to prepare for the playoffs now that you know you're going?
Besides,
or should be going.
Besides doing math.
Practice. I mean, we really need to get ready. We're going to use that week in between the last match and the start of the playoffs to just put in the work. And, you know, it should pay off.
Yeah,
well, hopefully it does.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if it does. Comps, if you have any words to #you before we start, what would they be?
Good luck and have fun.
Great. And I'm sure they're saying the same thing to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, and before we kind of pull up the rosters here for either the sides, just letting everyone know, October 3rd, that is the date to put down on your calendars. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be the finals. It is going to be in Los Angeles, California, and the winning team gets $75,000. That's the winning prize money. That is some good juicy stuff. But now let's pull up the rosters here for both of these teams. #RU against Noble. David, any of the players popping out as of late, or again, just kind of the similar things we've been seeing?
We've talked about them all throughout the season. Let's go with the theme of players who don't necessarily stand out on points, but are super important. Abrasive on his team, I believe, doesn't do a whole lot in terms of points. Not as much as some of the other point leaders, I think.
Okay.
But his overall gameplay is extremely important to the team. And then for Noble, I think we've talked about him a little bit already, though. Militant. Militant's gameplay is extremely important. And Canadian Impact, also very important, and shows up on the points.
Okay, well, so now getting into this next one. #U versus Noble, starting out on Himmelsdorf now. Who do you give the edge to? Who do you give the slight advantage to between these two teams?
I would say #RU, and even though they haven't been playing very well, the first time we saw them play better than they have all season long for the most part was on Himmelsdorf, and it was a map where they get to do a lot of stuff. Meanwhile, Noble was looking extremely weak on it the last time we played them.
All right.
So either this is a statement that they fixed it, or they made a huge mistake in picking.
Well, let's see which one of those it is as we're now ready for our next matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, #RU versus Noble. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
I'm legitimately scared about what's about to happen. I don't know.
Good.
#RU with 250-100s, 4 IS-3s, and AMX-12T. Noble with a 110, 250-100s, 2 IS-3s, a T-32, and a T-37. So they've made some changes. That's for certain. Didn't see them bringing out the T-32 last time.
They being Noble.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
It's better than 2 110s. I picked on that pretty much the entire season.
Yeah.
But either way, they are changing. #RU, a little bit of a difference from what we've seen on Himmelsdorf most of the time. 150 going hill, 150 just locking down the 8 line, which is a little bit strange. A complete stack of IS-3s, that's nothing particularly new. Although, if they had been doing this against Lamp, I don't think FBC would have made it down the 3 line, because this is a pretty strong echelon formation. I believe that's what it's called.
Echelon.
Everybody is lined up in that kind of formation.
I believe you.
Echelon, reverse echelon, something like that. Somebody out there with actual military service history is telling me how wrong I am right now.
Sure.
And I welcome it.
That's the beauty of the internet, right?
I welcome it. Well, it'd just be nice to know.
Dodo
used to
now.
know those things.
Dodo taking 3 shots and now actually deciding to reload already on the railroads, backing off here. Now, we're seeing Dodo in a position where we normally see scouts. Now, why do you think they decided to put that 5100 there instead of a lighter tank?
We've actually seen him do that a number of times. He's got a certain amount of height that can let him spot through one of the buildings, through a gap in the window. So you can fly over to it really quickly. Doesn't look like we're going to have a whole lot else going on immediately. So he's spotting through this pile of rubble, and he can see pretty far down the G line itself doing so. His shots through there are okay. I typically don't really prefer them if you got other options, but abrasive.
Yeah.
Getting lit up again on top of the hill. That's not the first time we've seen that happen. Interestingly, it looks like he shot Germ and Militant, I guess. They're both down a shot. We missed that when we were looking through what was going on in that window. However that happened is tricky. My guess is abrasive up there took shots. You can get shots on those corners from up there, but they're blind. You don't see anything. So he probably took them into there for a couple reasons. Noble uses those spots a lot. They typically do what they're doing most of the time. They've changed the lineup a little bit, but it's pretty much still the same thing. And Hashigayua has a lot of players who've learned how to do those blind shots, but he took the blind fire back for the same reasons. It's a similar situation, easily noted, easily deciphered where those shots are coming from.
Right, it's deduction that you can use.
It's the only way they could come from. So you just send it up there by that castle and you guaranteed make connection, especially on a 5100. Meanwhile, Canadian Impact still left high and dry, but he can slip into the 8 line the instant he sees these people and potentially get away. So somewhat of a hole in the plan. But if they can, if Hashtagger you can get the track, it's going to go bad.
Oh, there it is. Canadian Impact getting track 708, 667. One more shot. He will go down, but he gets around the corner just in time. Godzilla mode. Take some shots from Marsh there in that T-37, and man, Canadian Impact with just 52 points of HP in that IS-3. That was extremely close for him, but a nice pickup there for Hashtagger to get that early damage on.
Definitely getting that kill would have been extremely important, but there is still Valera Desolator in the 12T to come clean it up. He is coming down the 0 line from the hill right now in order to get it, but we also have some action popping off here in the D line.
That's right, Game is rigged backing up against Marsh at the T-37, and Dodo and Exos are coming from behind. Now Hashtagger now stacking up two IS-3s and 2 V100s. Looks like they're going to go for Exos. Are pushing across his Eclipse, finding some caverns that he can get into. Young Money, Cash Money pushing Wells. Abrasive getting lit up. Militant picking that one up, and Valera Desolator finally cleaning up Canadian Impact in the back with a fight in the courtyard has begun. Dodo being the focus there. One more shot in that 5100, and he should go down. Looks like Game is rigged. Eclipse coming around the corner. 2 take at Eclipse should have the shot. He'll pick that one up, but Germ finding Godzilla mode. Back-to-back kills for both of these teams, and now it is a 5-on-5 Hashtagger you versus Noble, but the HP is in favor of Noble. Master Putin making sure that is not the case anymore. Exos are going down to Eclipse, and now just 3 tanks remain for Noble and still 5 for Hashtagger you. Valera Desolator damaging Germ and Militant as they come around the corner trying to find any kills that they can. Germ in a sticky situation in that T-32. One more shot, he'll go down. Valera doing an immensely amazing job lining those shots, taking each one, making every single one count. Germ going down, and now it is just Militant versus Akula. Let's see if Militant could find Game is rigged before the rest of his team can respond. Looks like he'll have a shot up and ready. The question is, will be enough damage? No, it gets bounced. That is not something on Valera with a shot, but Master Putin going to be the one to pick it up. Now just Akula remains in his 5100. Nothing he can do unless every single one of these shots can one-shot the enemy team. Even though they are on defense, he is not in a position to run or hide. He finds Young Money, Cash Money in the corner, trying to punish him. Will take that one down, but Master Putin coming around the corner, lining a shot of 418. And Akula only having one more shot. He should go down. Valera picking that one up as well. And the first victory going out for Hashtagger you here on to Himmelsdorf. Man, Valera Desolator in that 12T. He's having a field day there.
Got a couple cleanup kills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about as good as it gets when you're in that situation, honestly.
Absolutely.
Unless you get just a reloading 5100 or something. That
would be
as
golden.
good as it gets. Statistically, we have enough. We'll go to them.
We have enough.
Statistics right now. I think we have done it literally every game this time.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's the theme of the night.
We'll
Statistics.
See. Maybe I'll make that a question of the day next time. We'll cover that in a second. Perfect 8 out of Putin. You've earned your name back.
Master.
Anybody didn't see it, I requested he earned his name back. No longer MacTep, back to being the Master Putin.
Heard you.
See if he loses it again inside this match. Young Money, Cash Money, perfect 5. Eclipse, perfect 6. Ooh, what the shooting on this team. Anyways, for Noble, Akula doing 2 clips, penning 9 of them. Most of them, he really didn't have the best shot, so I'm not going to criticize him for that much.
Okay.
Dodo, 6 for 6.
Good job.
Really Canadian impact, the one getting focused there, as we saw. I mean, he's just wide open.
Yeah.
In a situation where it makes me actually Militant down there with 408 and Marsh with T37, or with the T37
427. Right.
That's crazy. So, anyways, I'm not gonna go off on it yet, but I'm already starting to question why Himmelsdorf wasn't banned by Noble. Canadian Impact back in stability. What they just ran is not different enough from what they've been running for me, and it scares me. Like I said, this whole set scares me for them. I'm not even particularly biased towards them. I have friends on both these teams.
It's just the
I
map
like them both.
and
I just
Noble.
don't want to see this go bad for them.
All right, well, let's see if they can turn this around. They're only down 1, so they still have plenty of time to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, into our next battle. #U up 1-0 to Noble. Same size as always. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tank.
#RU going for a second victory with 2 5100s, 4 IS3s, and an Amex 12T. Noble with a 110, 2 5100s, 2 IS3s, T32 and a T37. Same lineups for both sides from last match. And it looks like immediately #U running the same thing. Probably what little they have rehearsed on this map, because I've seen them just play it differently every time.
Really?
And they've told me in the past that a lot of the time they don't have set strategies. They just sort of wouldn't say wing it, but it's their style to open up a certain way and then just sort of talk it out.
Okay.
Something that a lot of teams like to do, and it's difficult to do. I think #U has to do it for a variety of reasons that I won't really get into at the moment.
Sure.
Noble, same opener. Dodoma getting potential spot on Eclipse. Nope, looks like it's a little bit too far. See if he leaves as quickly as he did last time.
Maybe. No, he's kind of sticking around there.
There's a problem with this, though. Marsh goes to that D5 spot immediately, and I didn't get a good camera on it this time. You've seen it a number of times. He drives up to a little pile of rubble there.
Yep. Pops up, gets a shot.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I missed it. I missed what was going on here. What I was going to say is he's the main guy who spots down the 5 line to make sure that nobody's moving west, to make sure that Dodoma doesn't get annihilated.
Okay.
It's a multiple step process, right?
Gotcha.
So Marsh goes right on top of this little pile of rocks, spots down the 5 line, makes sure. Militant moves into this area here, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's got optics. There you go. Optics on the 110, which already has 280 view range. He's getting very close to maximum, so he can see all the way down that line for the most part. So he is the second safety net to make sure that Dodoma doesn't get killed. But there was a gap there that put Dodoma at risk. Somewhat uncomfortable with. But it didn't go bad for them. Didn't go bad for Noble, that is. #U now starting to step into a little bit more of what Noble is looking for on their defense, honestly. So this could be the match where they tie it up, unless #U just plays their way out of it, which would not be the first time we've seen.
Sure. Well, let's see exactly how this continues to develop. 4 minutes and 50 seconds now in the battle. Master Putin with a nice shot into Militant there in that 110, dropping him to about half health with just 1 shell out of that IS-3. Some shots from the hill coming down, connecting onto Abrasive. Also going back up. Dodo on the run now. He's had to get out of there. Yeah, Abrasive is in that same position. Now, look at that 5100 already down to 384 health. That poor guy.
I legitimately stopped doing this when we played. I'd maybe shoot once or twice and then just back up, because that's about as much damage as you get. It's very rare for you to be able to do even as much as he did to Militant reliably without getting tapped back. Because like I said, there's only one really solid place you can fire from at those certain angles, and good teams know it, and they just blind fire right back. I'm not sure. I didn't actually check to see if Abrasive was lit. There's a very good chance he was because of Militant's optics.
He was lit, yeah.
And that is something my team at one point started running a 110 in specific to see the 5100 from that spot.
Oh, here we go, though. Game is Rick coming over the corner, finding Germ, but he might be stuck out himself, taking 601 points of damage there. Now finally from the top, more damage coming down in that 12T. Valera Dessler doing as much as he can to Germ. Going to be a tough battle there, though, from that 1-on-1 tank. Game is Rick coming over the corner, Godzilla mode. Nice chunk of damage there in that T32. Now let's see how #U continues to push into this courtyard. Dodoma taking chunks of damage there. That 5100 is Eclipse, and his 5100 has 4 shots, ready and waiting. A massive fight now going out from the courtyard. A lot of damage. Young Money, Cash Money, X-Soldier getting extremely low in that IS-3, having to back out there with a Kula. Now it looks like Hashayuk maintaining that control of the courtyard, now pushing up free. Young Money, Cash Money, a nice shot onto X-Soldier there. Now the first tank of this battle going down for the side of Noble. Godzilla mode fighting against Canadian Impact and Mars. He'll be going down. Now an IS-3 loss, looks like, from both sides of the team. #U, though, has that HP lead by just about 500 now. Akula taking some more damage from the top. Now Marsh in the corner. Gamer's Ring finds Dodo, but he will be the next target. Eclipse, no. He's taking the shots from Marsh. Marsh driving through, trying to find an opening. Akula through the window, picking up Eclipse. A nice shot there. Gaming's Ring driving by, finding Militant, and damage coming across the courtyard here. It's a messy, chaotic battle, but it looks like #U might come out on top. Gaming's Ring extremely low. One more shot, he'll go down. How much can he do? No, Germ with the ramp damage to find the 3. Young Money, Cash Money, though, try and take those shots. He might be going down, though, as Marsh and Germ, a T-37 and a T-32 against an IS-3. The quicker reload time should mean Young Money, Cash Money's death. There he goes, dropping down. Now it is a 3-on-3. Noble doing a good job clawing the way back from this one. Germ is extremely low, but over on the side, 2 IS-3s, Master Putin and Canadian Impact are duking this one out. Let's see who's going to come out on top of it. Both very relatively close on the reload. The question is, who's going to be the one to be able to take the shot first? Who's going to have the damage? It's going to be Master Putin just in time. And now, 2 tanks, Germ and a T-32. Extremely low, just 205 points out there, and a T-37 against an AMX-12T, an IS-3, and another 5100, or another IS, yeah, 5100. So
well,
look,
#U is on offense, so they do have to aggress, but Germ is stuck where he is. There's no way he's going anywhere else, so it's kind of Marsh on Valera Desolator, and I'd rather be Valera Desolator in a 12T versus T-37 fight in this situation, but it is really close.
There we go, shots now exchanging for both of these teams. Valera has applied the cap pressure. Abrasive, though, he's almost ready and loaded. A couple more seconds, and he'll be ready to fire in that 5100, pushing against German Marsh, who are, they should be one shot.
He is loaded.
To that 5100, 84 seconds, a minute now left. So I guess technically Noble would just have to go. Master Putin taking down Germ, and now looking for Marsh. Marsh is on the run down the railroad tracks, but Master Putin just has to apply that cap pressure, and it should be enough there. I don't know, technically, Dave, what's your call? Could Marsh run away, or is the cap pressure just going to be too great for him here?
Marsh can run away, but
#U
will cap in time.
Okay.
And Abrasive missing the connection on Marsh and the T-37. He does have him somewhat trapped here, but it doesn't look like he's going to chase after it. #U barely going to cap this out in time, and that is still somewhat questionable. Yeah. Meanwhile, Abrasive's just going to try and screen Marsh out to make sure he doesn't get back on cap, but Abrasive should have been driving to his own cap a little bit earlier, possibly adding on that third person to make sure it was guaranteed, but this is getting closer.
Down to the wire, down to 1 more second. Let's see who's going to pick this one up. It's going to be Noble is the call. The time went down. The cap pressure was on. David, what do you make of that?
I believe the UI just lied to me.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
All right.
Because the math was, the time was there. But we got a different, the overall timer hit 0.
So Noble successfully defending. It got down to 2 seconds there. So your call was right. They should have put those 3 tanks.
Cap was ahead, though. I swear it was ahead. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
it worked out for Noble in the end.
That's right.
Yeah, the triple capping there was definitely the right call.
Yeah, so getting not putting it up to chance there. So unfortunately, just not enough time there to pick that one up. Looking there at the beginning, though, like we saw coming out of #U that same kind of general, pushing up of around the courtyard. Anything in stats we want to go to and check out?
Very quickly, and we can get back to that.
Let's do that. Let's go to
There's
stats.
Huge numbers here, and I like to cover them every time they pop out, but we're seeing more today than we do most of the time. Young Money, Cash Money, Perfect 7, 2660. Putin still being a master, coming up behind Valera Desolator in a Tier 6, 1325. That's ridiculous. Over here for Noble, Canadian Impact, getting back what he lost last match. Germ and Marsh also contributing quite a bit. And Akula could have penned a little bit more. It really penned only half his shots. I don't really know what they looked like most of the time. I didn't have a very good angle on it. So,
okay.
As you were saying, they're talking about courtyard control, if I remember right.
Yeah, well, there's that crazy battle in the middle with #U and Noble. Just a lot of fire going from all sides of that map. What is that something that Hashtag U was expecting to happen? Was that a bad position that they were in, or was it just favorable?
No, so they actually had 2 tanks on the hill that were able to fire into that D-line area and
So
in
they
the
wanted
courtyard
that.
from the hill. Abrasive was still up there, and
Okay.
Lair Desolator was up there. So they wanted it to a certain extent, or at least it worked for them to a certain extent. And just a couple little mistakes adding up to give Noble a chance to come back.
Whew.
But yeah, like
Just
I
in
said,
this-
it was just a brawl.
Just in the split seconds, too. Well, Noble now tying it up. Hashtag U 1-1. We have now switched sides. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tank.
Hashtag are you with 2 5100s, 4 IS3s, and a T37. Noble with 2 5100s, 4 IS3s, and an Amex 12T. Both teams choosing to run the 12T on offense today. Probably for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Nah, realistically, probably for one main reason.
What is
And
that?
then it's smaller than the T37 by a little bit. So it fits on cap better, and it's more easily covered. So
Okay.
you can kind of screen it with IS3s and put on more cap pressure. That's my guess. Technically in a head-to-head, both are great. It's probably more personal preference, but I'd go with a 12T in a head-to-head fight. But you get some bad RNG.
Yeah, let me know.
And the T37 is way better. So, like I said, personal preference. On this map, the 12T has less overall weakness because the map's flatter, so you don't have elevation depression problems.
Okay.
Any place with hills, T37 or a T21 is probably better just because it can depress over hills very, very easily for shots. In the meantime, Noble is really static here. Not sure if we... Okay, apparently we don't. I thought we might have had a disconnect for a second considering nobody was moving at all, but probably discussing something or
It's waiting.
waiting perhaps for Marsh to do a certain type of spot, and then they know where they want to go from there. So this instance, it looks like they were trying to see exactly where or if there was a tank in a certain area, right? So they're checking the 1-2, and it's like, well, Putin's kind of in the open, and Eclipse is there at the end. We can probably push that and pick up Putin pretty quickly, and that'll make a Western play a lot more useful to us. It's something
Okay.
along those lines. I don't think that's exactly accurate. They probably had something they were looking for, what we call a trigger. And then as soon as they see it, they're like, yep, we can push
Boom.
west.
Right.
There's different kinds of triggers, basically. There's what you're looking for.
Information.
Say if you have a balanced opener, and then you look, and the trigger is, if this is here, I go this way. If it's not here, I go that way. That kind of thing, right? It's a decision. Whereas what it looked like Noble just is a different kind of trigger, or perhaps a condition, depending on what you want to call it, where it's like, as long as nobody is here, we'll push that. See what I'm saying? Slight differences.
Yeah, and now in a typical battle, I mean, how many triggers are laid out for you? I mean, how many preset decisions could a single player have?
So I suppose we could separate them. We should probably sit down and come up with some terminology on this, honestly. A condition, maybe 2 in a match, honestly.
Okay.
And that's kind of
And then
right
just
after your
comes-
opener, deciding where you go next, or whether you can go where you want to go, something like that, right?
Right.
And then there's a lot of other situations where you just see somebody in a certain spot, and then you have to adjust what you're doing to dive on them, like in isolation.
Right. You haven't
You can
played
be
that.
triggered into an isolation in that situation.
Right. Here we go. Cap pressure, though, as we're getting back to this battle. Noble applying that one over in the western cap. Marsh single-handedly doing that one. Godzilla mode in the IS3, getting some shots from X-Shoulder. Nothing connecting yet. He is spotted. And the question is, in hashtag are you? They're going for a 7-8 push of their own, but just in the opposite direction. Normally we see offense going to the defense. This time it's the defense going to the offense here. Tanks driving across the courtyard. It looks like this might be the battle that hashtag U is looking for. The question is, how will Noble respond, and if hashtag U can do it in a timely manner. 3 members, 2 IS3s, and a 5100 to come around the corner looking for Militant. And X-Shoulder, here comes the shot. First one going on to Master Putin and his IS3 abrasive now locked and loaded. The bounce shot 2. Oh, maybe the first one bounced. The second one might have just hit the rubble there, but X-Soldier getting out without taking a single scratch of damage. And now Kula and Dodo, the rotations into the 5100. These tanks might be in trouble for hashtag U. Here comes the damage. Looks like this was a trap. Milton getting extremely low, 1,000 damage there, going across in that IS3, but the rest of Noble is collapsing down. Marsh maintaining that gap pressure. Master Putin finding Middleton, and Germ picking up abrasive, a 1-for-1 exchange. Hashtag EU and Noble. The HP is in favor of Noble, but just ever so slightly. Master Putin takes a shot. X-Soldier extremely low. Master Putin falling. Gaming's Rig picking up X-Soldier. Gaming's Rig now being focused by Germ. Eclipse taking the shots into Dodo. Young Money, Cash Money coming in to join the fight. Valera, Dessler picking up Marsh. Germ fighting game. He's right back Godzilla mode, picking up Dodo. Dodo, #U coming out on top of that 4-3. And now it'll be interesting to see, since Noble has given up that cap pressure, what they can do here. Germ taking some shots onto Godzilla mode. Canadian Impact now backing off as Valera, Desolator, and T37 doing a good job from #U, just being annoying, really, over on the side by the railroad tracks. Canadian Impact having to be forced to join Germ over here with 3-on-2 over on this corner, and this should go to #RU. They are on defense. It is up to Noble to make some crazy plays here. Let's see if they can pull it out. Godzilla mode and Canadian Impact exchanging shots. Germ coming the corner. Young Money, Cash Money finds the shots, but Germ picking up Godzilla mode now from the back. Eclipse ready with 6 shots in his 5100. Akula finding Young Money and #U. Noble now going down 2 kills. Just Eclipse remains. He's in a 5100. He has lots of shots. The question is, how many can he make count? There goes Germ. Now another shot into Canadian Duo just around the corner, and Akula coming with 4 more shots. Eclipse should be going down. Noble should actually pick up this victory here. Akula taking the shot. 1 more, and Eclipse will go down. Noble clawing their way back, picking up another victory there. And now it is a 2 up to #U, 2-1. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Lots of chaos happening in that fight. Not quite sure what was going down. So many side switching, so many cap pressure being evaded. But David, what are some of the things that you saw from there?
Chaos, like you said.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We'll talk about that
after
again.
Stats.
After stats.
Yes. Let's get into it.
It's not that I don't know what happened. It's just it's very chaotic and complex to describe. Eclipse. Oh, plays a tier 8 pretty mean with a 5100, 2800, 10 pens out of 12. Abrasive didn't look like he got his gun into the fight very well. Everybody else pretty spread. Oh, actually, Valera Desolator to T37 doing tier 8 level damage. He is awesome. Almost every time I see him pop up on stats, he's in a weird tank. He's doing great.
He's just doing tons of damage.
Anyways, I'm going to get back to that as well. Canadian Impact, his team with 2383. Germ, somebody who typically hasn't actually been playing particularly well, at least that I've noticed, putting up a perfect 7 with 4 kills, and he's been up there a number of these matches. Akula, 8 for 8, and people you'd expect, like Dodoma, a little bit further down. Anyways, so what happened there, like you said, was chaos. It was sort of a setup fight that Noble wanted.
Right, they pulled them from the
did what they
north.
usually do, biasing themselves to the northeast and coming down the 8 line. Perhaps something that Noble has studied and expected.
Okay.
They blocked it fairly well. Valera Desolator basically drove straight through the west side, causing enough of a problem to tie up an IS-3 and make a T-37 that was on cap, or a 12T that was on cap, move to get away from him. He ended up moving directly into the guns of one of his other tier 8 friends, who fired
nice position
from the G line all the way down there to get the reset. So #U fighting multiple
Dang.
different crazy battles all at the same time. Noble doing the same thing, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're just circling that city block and shooting each other until one team came out on
Whoever
top.
comes out on top. Well, we are now into the next battle. Let's see if Noble can make it 3-1, or if #U can tie this one up before we get into our second map. Ladies and gentlemen, right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
#RU needs this one to get back in the fight. 2 5100s, 4 IS-3s, and a T-37. Noble with 2 5100s, 4 IS-3s, and an AMX 12T. Same from last time. And again with a 12T on offense. So Noble's looking a little bit better, I would say, on Himmelsdorf today. But they have to clean this one up. They have to win this one to really
Prove that.
and still, I'm not sure it proved it. That last match was way too close.
with the timer.
Wins, all of these battles have been way too close. So it's still a map where I'm scratching my head right now, wondering why they're not banning it.
Maybe they just want to try to prove the fact that what they have studied will work out. Valera Desolator going for that early position in that F7 area. We see him trying to get to, but he might find Marsh. Marsh spots him out, turns the turret, but it's not enough time, as he does get into that corner there, getting ready to proxy spot any tanks that come up that line. Marsh just barely missing what might have been sudden death there from 2 IS-3s. Young Money, Cash Money, and game is rigged. The shots just not connecting.
That right there
that was close.
Is why the entire interior upholstery of a 12T is brown leather.
That is disgusting. Now, Marsh driving on the way through, joining the rest of his team. Noble pushing through, just Milton kind of staying back there. Let's see how #U is. They're not putting a lot of their pressure or a lot of their tanks into the northeast, as we've seen them do a lot more, actually, just 4 members of #U over on the railroad tracks. So it looks like they've decided to, try to maybe respond to what Noble did last time. And David, what they're doing, is this the correct response to, what Noble pushed against the last battle?
It is
Better?
better.
Better. Okay.
Well, you asked me questions that, that concrete about correct response.
Right. Is this a better response?
I immediately kind of shrugged because it's like, well, there's probably 5 correct responses.
Sure.
And let me see if this is one of them.
This is one of the 5.
And right now, not so much.
Okay.
They're giving up some of the great positioning they had and throwing it away for reasons that aren't particularly clear to me. They could be trying to double down on that 8-line push again. But either way, Noble's looking very good to start trying to convert this into a win again. Canadian Impact already being caught with 1 shot from Young Money Cash Money. That should herald something from #RU. Now either coming down the D line, B line, anything but the 8-line, and they'll be in business. But they go over there again. It's going to be the same thing that happened last time, but probably worse for #RU.
Well, let's see if they have learned from their mistakes. Godzilla mode bouncing a shot there from X-Shoulder into the building. Marsh looks like he's the one putting that pressure on again. Canadian Impact over in that F1 position. Valera pushing down, trying to find sort of spots, getting some sort of damage there. But we've talked about that position over on the western cap. The cap #1 on your mini-map. Marsh is right behind a building. So if you're coming down straight on from him, you're not going to get the shot.
Oh,
you come from the side
Valera's
here.
going for HE reset. Sorry to interrupt. This is super
No,
important.
it's all right.
He didn't get him. He bracketed right around him. It's literally tenths of degrees difference in order to get one of those shells to land next to Marsh. Not entirely sure if the splash radius would be close enough. Certainly worth trying. And Valera maybe giving up too early on that, but it's a nice effort either way. #U barreling across the courtyard.
Right. Here we go. Let's see if they're going to. Looks like they might be walking to the same position again. Maybe just slightly different. Let's see if those slight variations are going to help them out. Game is rigged. Is already low in that IS-3. Alright, take a shot. Let's see as he comes to the corner, finding Middleton. Who's going to take the shots first? Jerk! Responding, taking some damage on the #RU. Nothing, actually. Both shots bouncing. Game is rigged actually didn't even let his fly here. Now Master Boot with the damage onto X-Soldier, and the battle has begun again. Game is rigged pushing up the corner. Looks like he might be caught out. Middleton in the IS-3 from behind, taking the shot, and a tank now going down for #RU. Noble, again, looking like they're starting out strong. Might be able to turn this into a victory. Master Putin is caught out there in his IS-3. Middleton picking that one up as well. 2 tanks down. Canadian Impact, a triple kill coming out for Noble. #RU is extremely low. Akula falling 1 by 1. The tanks for #RU going down, and Noble still has all 7. Canadian with Young Money Cash Money. Noble looks like they might even get a clean sweep here. 9 more seconds on the cap. X-Soldier coming across the clips, who is now on reload. Godzilla mode, the only one who could technically fire, but the cap has reached 0. Ladies and gentlemen, Noble has picked up this victory, making it now 3-1 against #RU on Himmelsdorf. And Dave, we talked about, maybe Himmelsdorf wasn't, the map that Noble was the strongest on. They got really close under 1. So, it could have been a tiebreaker. It could have been #RU tying it up 2-2 there because of that clock at the end. But Noble picking that one up, making it out 3-1. Did #RU do the same thing as they did last time and it didn't work out
exactly
again?
The same. They tweaked it a little bit
Close
rather than
enough.
going directly down the G line across the courtyard. It's close enough to still be bad.
Right. So
fell directly into the trap like we were talking about that is being laid by Noble. So while Noble performing better on it, whether they've brushed up enough to really
that's the
say they've
question.
improved on it, I don't know. Either way, many of those matches far too close to be playing that map. There's got to be something they're better at.
That's true.
Anyways, nothing of note in stats this time.
Aww.
Top 2 for Noble, Akula, and Dodoma, roughly 1,500 each. Everybody else relatively evenly spread. Eclipse leading off for #RU. Rest of the team pretty much getting wrecked.
All right. Well, now we're going into steps, which is going to be next for both of these teams. David, who do you think, is this another map that you say we should have been banned out, or do you think it's a wise choice for one of these teams?
This isn't a surprise to me that Noble's going to run this map at all.
Okay.
And they're in a perfect position for it.
Great.
If they get on defense first, which they're not, they're on offense. Well, all they have to do is defend twice in this whole set, right?
Right.
They can lose
That'll be their
both
5.
offenses, and all they have to do is defend twice, if you want to look at it that way.
Sure.
And they're fairly good at defending this map. So, pretty decent map pick on their part. What I'm wondering, I'm hoping, really want to see Eclipse play at artillery.
Okay.
He's just not doing it. It's driving me crazy.
We've talked about
This
how
is a
he
good
is the
map for it.
man.
This is a good map for it, but he is on defense, so perhaps not yet.
All
Perhaps
right.
we get on offense.
We'll
We'll
see on the Switch. Now, the question is going to be now coming out here, is #U, are they going to be ones who have a very definitive response for the offensive push on the steps we've been talking about? We've seen, maybe an artillery brought, like we've said, that is a way to kind of do it. The question is, will Simp, if they take one on offense, that's going to be huge for them. So let's see if they can do that, ladies and gentlemen, or if #U can win 2 in defense and tie it up 3-3. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Not sure a #U is really the type of team I would call good on defense. Doesn't really fit in their philosophy.
Okay.
They're more of an aggressive team.
All right.
So they could just come right out of that hiding spot and fight. We'll see. Both teams actually running very similar lineups. T32, RU251, 4 T54 lightweights for #U at 5916 for Noble and M44.
There we go, Germ in that M44. We've seen him in that artillery play fairly well. I'll be excited to see what comes out here for this. Noble already starting out on offense, doing what we said, what we've seen other teams successfully break the defenses by bringing that artillery. So let's see if Noble can make it work for them as well. Germ trailing behind just a little bit from the rest of his team. Dodoma, Marsh, Akula, Milton, X-Shoulder all up ahead. Canadian Impact in the back. All the pressure going for this northern cap. Let's see how #U can respond to this. Dodo getting a nice little position here, sitting back up with Akula. And Dave, we kind of talked about the other push on offense that the northern tanks can do, getting a T-54 or any sort of light tank up on the hill, right past the sign on your screens there. You got the hill right, the little hill right before it, no, right past it.
B1.
B1
roughly,
hill, and getting a nice spot there. Is that something that also could, why wouldn't you see a team do that? Why wouldn't you see a team take advantage of that really good spotting position?
It's risky.
Okay.
It's not really a spotting position. It's more of a sniping position. So it gives you better angles to fire down.
What X-Soldier is doing right now. There we go.
X-Soldier is doing. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the boost.
Oh,
My
no.
fault. The C2. Okay, yes. That's the one that I praised the Blue Boys for using a little bit ago. And why wouldn't you?
Is it
only
risky?
if you were going very hard over the top. No, it's a great spot.
Okay.
And it's one I praise Blue Boys for because you just don't see it that much.
Whoa.
Okay.
Germ. Unfortunately, we missed that pickup. The M44 already taking down Valera in that 59-16. An early pickup for Noble there.
I don't even know where Valera is right now. How would he have been spotted? How did he get shot?
It's magic, David.
Didn't even look like Germ was fully aimed. I guess that makes up for the whole getting Germinated debacle.
He's coming back.
Perhaps.
He's coming back.
We'll see.
That'll be interesting to watch on the replays for sure. We can go back and see the kind of shot that he took there. Cap pressure now being applied for Noble. We kind of talked about this. This is what we go for when we go for the north. We have the people putting on top, and it's up to #U as the defenders to find those resets. Looking at Noble's positions, are they in a good setup to really punish #U for trying anything? Oh, nice pickup there on Eclipse.
Yes, they can punish that northern push, no problem. And they do have a little bit of weakness. Noble, that is.
Oh, here we go.
But it doesn't look like #U is really ready to reset.
There they go, showing all the push, taking 5 members over the railroad tracks. Game is ready, takes him down as well. Young Man cash money, but they have making it across, and Middleton takes some shots. Canadian Impact now being the next one. Germ, a lot of damage going to M44. One more shot, he'll go down. Godzilla mode looks like he's waiting for it. No, they're turned up to Middleton. Abrasive, picking up that shot. The M44 now going down for the side of Noble. It is now a 6-on-6, but Marsh picking up Gaming's rigged. #U now going down, dropping in that HP advantage. Noble doing their best to try taking an abrasive. One more shot, he'll go down. He's extremely low there. Let's see if Milton can pick it up from on top of the hill. Marsh, though, getting punished. Milton, there it is, fighting abrasive. The T-54 going down. Dodoma rushing across the rail tracks to try to join his teammates here. Coming up the side, looking for Godzilla, taking the shot on the jump. Not quite connecting to anything. Now repositioning himself, finding some damage into Godzilla mode. Lots of members of #U are extremely low. Young Money Cash Money and Godzilla back-to-back kills. Milton and Marsh going down. Akula fighting Godzilla. It is a 4-on-3. The HP, though, over 1,000 in favor of Noble. And the railroad fight has continued. Akula getting a nice ramp damage and the shot for Young Money Cash Money. A double kill coming out there for that member of Noble Gaming. And just Eclipse remains. David, it looks like Noble's going to pick up a victory on defense. And that is exactly what they want.
Yes. Akula, great. Great play there at the end. A shot with a ram followed by another shot. It's a move I believe we've talked about before with 5100s and things with autoloaders. You only say you have 3 targets and 2 shots.
You
And
ram,
all of them are one
doom.
shot. You can ram one, shoot the other 2.
Right.
It's a nice little way of packing things on and cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Cool at doing it with the T-54. Overall, stats-wise, Putin, Young Money leading their team close to 2,000, and Akula leading his team for 1,800 with 3 kills. Another one of the people I would consider a guaranteed pick. I pick Akula pretty much every time he plays.
Okay.
'Cause he puts up points, man.
Yeah,
But Noble in
right
that
there.
situation, I ended up figuring out, I think, why they got Valera.
Okay.
It looked to me like Valera stopped in a bush, and they just figured out where he was in that bush and dropped a shell on him. Couldn't really go anywhere.
'Kay.
Either that, or he got lit while running away.
Oh, that would have been
and
a sweet
He
shot.
thought
for Germ.
he wasn't. He thought he wasn't lit anymore.
'Kay.
And he stopped in that bush, and then he got shot
Okay.
by the artillery. But either way, somehow Noble knew where he was and dropped an artillery bomb
Beautiful
on him. It
pick
didn't
up
look
there
like he
from
was
them.
moving.
Right.
He's just trying to do a passive scout thing.
Now-
So go ahead.
I was looking for what hashtag you did there at the end. They were tanked down. They decided to put those 5 members, push it over the railroad tracks, and they picked up Germ there pretty quickly. It looked like it might have been going in favor for them. Where obviously that looked like a really good thing to do. What did Noble do just better in that situation? Was it just having the higher ground with Militant?
They just outshot him, and Militant's position is a problem.
Yeah.
They should have just pushed through, killed Militant, and gotten it over with. Leave one trailer so if Militant goes over the hill, he can shoot him, and push by and kill Militant. But Militant
Okay.
did a great job in that situation. It didn't actually do the most damage on his team, but just driving people crazy,
Yeah,
poking and
being the
shooting when he
nuisance.
should,
Right.
backing off when he shouldn't. That's one of those things I was talking about with a good player versus somebody who maybe generates a lot of points. Some people might shoot too much and get killed there. Militant only shooting knowing when he's safe and causing a much more overall strategic effect
Yeah.
than an actual numerical effect in that instance.
Fantastic job for them. But now Noble up 4-1 against hashtag U. They took a victory on offense once. Let's see if they can do it again and clean up this second match of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our battle. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For hashtag RU, a T32 and RU251, 4 T54 lightweights and a 5916. For Noble, a T32, 2 RU251s, 3 T54 lightweights, and a T21. Changing up their strategy already.
Yeah,
dropping
dropping
the
artillery.
And we'll see how they decide to get it in. But like we were saying, I expected hashtag RU to actually barrel their way through that last offense and win. But they stopped. They let Noble take advantage of them. They let Militant distract them for too long.
Yeah.
And it cost them everything.
Now, a question I kind of have bringing, in regards to bringing the artillery. Once Germ picked up that kill, and I think it was the 5916, does that right there make it, all right, cool, that was worth. Like, it was worth to bring this artillery. We took a tank down, even though it's a scout or a light tank. Is that how that works, or is there still more that Germ should have done or could have done to make his tank choice more relevant?
It's debatably enough. What he's really there for is to kill the T-32.
Okay.
That's his main
That's his job. All right.
But yeah, I mean, dropping a bomb on a light tank is a pretty nice advantage to have, especially if you're the artillery, because that guy who's most likely to come get you in your artillery, now gone.
That's true. That is true. See, X-Sol's are now going up that position again. Possibly Blue Boys captain doing a good job kind of making this now a staple position if you're going for the north on offense. Getting a good little scout spotting there. Getting it found. Shot from Militant across. Some blind fire there, and that RU-251 looking to go for that same position as he was up in that A3 area. Good nice little snipe positions for whoever hashtag U sends their way. Do some punishing. Now, X-Soldier, what would it take for hashtag U where he's at to spot him right now?
They would have to be further across the ridge than they are. Remember, they can't even effectively spot Cap from the northeastern side, and he's further than that. So
he's pretty safe.
Yeah, and he has some pretty great shots on people who come over the tracks at the time. A nice little bait and switch from Noble, getting him to push into the south, piling on a north cap, and it's all but GG right now.
Here we go, Noble, the quick cap coming out. Nice. Pulling hashtag RU through the south. 22 seconds now. The question is, can hashtag RU make it in time? We've got T-54s pushing up the center. Dodo take some damage. Can Noble hold them back, or will they be able to get the resets that they're looking for? The question is Abrasive finding Dodemal. The first tank going down, 9 more seconds on the cap. Young Money, Cash Money flying as quick as he can. 5 seconds, he's looking for the cap. Shots going through, actually nothing hitting, and the resets coming out for #U already. Akula taking the damage, pushing back. Abrasive now in Gaming String coming, trailing behind, trying to make it as they can, and Noble deciding to abandon the cap because they've just not in the position anymore to take it. Valera in his 59-16, still sitting back, taking some shots, just missing. Canadian Impact. Game is rigged. The next are fighting out, and now we have a very interesting battle. The defense is on the offense is on the defensive side. Let's see who comes out on top. Noble, though, already down a tank and down HP, so #U do have a slight health advantage and tank advantage. The question is, can they turn it into a win? 3 minutes and 47 seconds, and the fight has been continuing. Abrasive backing off, and it looks like we have a little bit of a stalemate backing over on side the center ridge here.
Right now, I would give a slight situational advantage to #U. I believe they have the better positions, but it is, again, very slight. Canadian Impact's move against Eclipse could mean everything here. Young Money, Cash Money coming up the middle in a very risky play.
Oh, here we go. Let's see Canadian Impact taking a lot of damage there, but Young Money, 247 is D54, having to back off here. Abrasive going through an Eclipse, taking some more damage. Canadian Impact, a spread fight all around. Militant still in the back, firing down on the enemy team. Game is ready. Eclipse, Young Money all taking damage simultaneously. Germ getting extremely low. Valera Desolator picking that one up. And now #U. Look, they want to continue this victory, but Noble has the HP advantage by over about 2,000. And there's Canadian Impact picking up a kill. Young Money looks like he's going to be the next one to go down. Canadian coming up the tide, lining up the shots. A double kill coming out for that T32. And now evening, actually taking the lead. 5-4 in favor. Now 5-3. Noble looks like they're going to pick up 2 victories onto steps, closing the night out. Godzilla mode going down to Canadian Impact again. 3 kills there. Let's see how many more he can pick up. A ram going in. Game is rigged, flying against Marsh, picking that one up. It is just Valera Desolator alive. He should be going down. #RU falling. Noble picking up another victory, now making it 5-1 there. A fantastic show of tankmanship coming out for Noble onto steps. That was an interesting fight. That was something we haven't, I haven't really remember seeing on steps there. The whole switch going through, the south being baited, the cap not working out. But again, #RU just not, like you said, maybe having a positional advantage slightly, but not quite capitalizing on it.
The biggest thing there was Canadian Impact. It basically had a one-on-one with Eclipse, and by the end of it, Eclipse was dead. Canadian basically hadn't been shot. There you go.
That'll do it.
That's pretty much everything for Noble. Marsh leading off, followed by Militant, followed by Canadian, followed by Ex-Soldier and Akula, and then over for #RU. Just game is rigged, and Valera and Abrasive breaking 1,000.
All right.
Getting outshot, outpositioned, overall outplayed by Noble in that situation.
Absolutely. Congratulations again to Noble taking that victory, ending our second matchup of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Match number 3, Elevate versus High Voltage, is coming up right after this break.